Hello everyone, and welcome back to another review episode. This week, I'm diving into a series that truly thrives in the television format, the heist genre. While there are a few shows like this, I think La Casa de Papel or Money Heist sets the perfect standard. In this video, I'll be doing an overarching analysis of this global phenomenon and explore how it proves that a show doesn't need to be in English to capture the world's attention. We'll also examine the intense psychological and emotional toll a heist takes on the characters' souls. Before we dive in, for those who are new to this channel, make sure to click on the subscribe button and check out my other content once you finish watching this one. And now, without further ado, let's explore La Casa de Papel. Chapter 1: Complexities of a Heist. Committing a heist and getting away clean is a challenging feat. There needs to be meticulous planning involved, while also knowing that at some point or another, you will need to improvise through the unknown factors that even those planning the heist cannot perceive. The main thrill comes from knowing how complex just a simple heist can be. In the case of La Casa de Papel, it tackles a much more complicated heist from the Spanish Mint and the Bank of Spain, which was the main thing that drew me into the series in the first place. I was always eager to see how the characters would either succumb to or overcome the complexities that comes with pulling such a complicated heist. Also becomes a key theme throughout the series. These complexities and their adversities becomes a powerful way for the characters to develop. How would they react to certain situations? Would the crew stand together, or would things get too out of hand, leading to disagreements and potential mutiny? These excitements becomes a way for the series to showcase many of the intricacies within a heist. In a sense, it educates the viewers that although committing a crime is illegal, on the other side of the coin, heists like the one pulled by the professor and his crew can be considered a work of art. All the complex webs that the professor needs to untangle for that one ending where most of the crew comes out alive and successful makes the series gripping. Unlike other sorts of crime, a heist is a complex machine that requires intelligence, knowledge, and various skill sets to pull off something that can be considered marvelous. And in the case of the show, a heist of the century. Chapter 2: The Unknown Factors. Whether it's the heist of the Spanish Mint or the Bank of Spain, the series always creates a sense of mystery regarding the intricate plan that the professor had devised. Instead of the series revealing each plan to the viewers up front, the events unfold gradually, allowing the audience to learn, along with the crew, through flashbacks of the time being educated by the professor. These flashbacks span several months, covering every minute detail of how the heist should proceed. However, the plan the professor cultivates and taught are merely a taste of what will come. This keeps the viewers guessing about the many plans until they're executed, maintaining their investment in each moment of the series. At the same time, the viewers gain insight from Tokyo's inner monologue about the impossibility of strictly adhering to any plan, given the unknowns that complicates every situation. From the series' first episode, it becomes apparent that even a plan as meticulously as the one envisioned by the professor cannot be perfect. Factors beyond their control, such as the actions of the police and the behavior of the hostages, adds a layer of complexity. The human elements inevitably disrupts the best laid plan. These two storytelling methods, the flashbacks and Tokyo's reflection, alongside with the heist, provides the viewers with a sense of the crew's unknown challenges. The audience is made aware not only of the plan's uncertainties, but also of the unforeseen actions the crew must handle inside the heist. This parallel experience between the characters and the viewers enhances the engagement, as both parties navigate the unknowns together. The series' blend of the unknown elements, from the lack of personal background of the crew to the unpredictable aspects of the heist, makes it a captivating watch. Knowing that something surprising is bound to happen at any moment in an episode keeps the audience on their toes, making the series a worthwhile investment. Chapter 3: Sense of Loyalty Within the Crew. In a heist narrative, there will always be a heavy tension in each scene, knowing that one mistake could lead to disastrous failures for the crew. One thing that keeps the threat from being broken is the sense of loyalty that the crew has to each other. At first, they were just mere strangers, recruited by the professor to pull off the biggest heist known to the world. But as time went on during their planning sessions, they become, in a sense, a family. They would learn from each other, argue, make mistakes, and most importantly, enjoy the time they had with each other. During the time of the heist, everything is tested, and this sense of loyalty is put into full force, knowing that should their loyalty collapses, so does the heist itself. In a heavy tension atmosphere like the one within the heist, having to deal with hostages and the police, they have the right to worry, but sometimes that worry leads to mistakes. That sometimes causes a heavy price for all. From the moments in the series, like the time when Berlin had disobeyed the professor's instructions of not harming the hostages and ordering Denver to execute one, to Palermo's maniac decision to give Gandia some advice to free himself, these disloyal moments jeopardizes the entire operation. While it is true that disloyal moments did occur within the narrative, these instances led the crew to become stronger, and most importantly, thrive from the experience. Also had the negative effect of losing a member of their crew. The sense of weakness that the police had assumed would be disloyalty only hardened them into a better crew, who shared similar experiences of both tragedy and triumph. Chapter 4: A Tale of Tragedies. As mentioned in my previous chapter, a heist narrative has major unknowns, even if there is a perfectly planned out plan on paper. These unknowns, while thrilling, also brings out the most tragedies within the narrative, especially when it comes to the tragic deaths of unforeseen characters. While keeping the viewer's attention towards the heist and the events that had led up to this point, the series manages to flesh out the crew that the professor had assembled. From early on in the narrative, most people, including myself, probably agree that we were emotionally attached to and invested to these characters. We wanted the underdogs of the narrative, as the professor puts it, to succeed in the heist with zero casualties, but unfortunately, that is never the case due to the unknowns. The tragedy of beloved characters being killed is something that, while necessary to create a powerful conflict for the narrative, becomes an emotional tug for the viewers. These deaths from beloved characters like Moscow, Berlin, Nairobi, and even Tokyo becomes a powerful reminder for the viewers that not everyone will survive the revolution they had incited. Witnessing the evolution of these characters from starting off as mere strangers on a heist and evolving into a fully fleshed out family. They have their disagreements at times, but at the core, they love each other for who they are. And when one of them is killed off, in many cases sacrificing themselves for their family, it becomes a real crushing and emotional moment within the series. Narratives can employ tragedy as a ploy to stir up the story, but if it's executed well, it becomes more than just a ploy. It becomes a masterpiece of storytelling. Chapter 5: A Symbol of Revolution. For the professor and Berlin, the heist they were going to pull off was going to be a symbol of revolution, something that their father and his father had ingrained within them ever since they were kids. Sure, the benefits of the wealth from the fortunes of the Spanish Mint and the Bank of Spain would allow them to live a life of comfort. Still, the heist at its core was to disrupt the current status quo and start a revolution unlike any other. Although everyone else who had signed on to join the crew in the beginning had only joined for the riches, after spending time with the printed riches at the Spanish Mint for 2 years, the professor's vision of revolution becomes something they start to understand. Their actions, ever since the first heists, have reverberated in society. Their costumes becomes one that people will wear in a cry for change, and by the beginning of the second heist, the people surrounding the bank were not mere citizens wanting to see what the commotion was. They were genuine followers of a revolution that the professor's crew had incited, even turning certain police officers to their side. With each critical moment highlighting revolution, the echoes of Bella Ciao, a song that the professor and Berlin's grandfather had taught them as a song for revolution, can be heard. At first glance, without any careful analysis, viewers might just see the core entertainment about the heist narrative. However, if you look deeper into the messages of the narrative, the signs of revolution are there. From the first heist, where the crew, instead of stealing money from the mint, decided to print money for themselves, an action that should a rich and higher class person commit would be applauded, while if someone, like Nairobi, someone who is lower within the economic classes, should do the same, they would be straightaway charged for that action. To their second revolution at the Bank of Spain, where the professor exposes the dirty corruption within the government and teaches the government that their corrupt actions will always have a price. These messages hidden amidst the noise of the heist, are an ingenious message for the viewers to uncover. Chapter 6, The Ending. After all the sacrifices that the crew has spilled into stealing the gold from the Bank of Spain, even to the point of loss, as the police storms into the bank, arresting all the crew members, the viewers and the police are beheld to one final twist by the professor, as it reveals how their story and the revolution they had waged is really going to end. Even after enduring many losses amidst their heist, their spirit can never be broken. The professor's never-ending catalog of contingencies comes through as he creates one final chaos into the world, collapsing the Spanish economy to the point that all the police can actually do is to surrender to the demands of the professor. As the negotiation commences, the viewers are given one final lesson by the professor, that the things he and his crew have stolen from the past two heists have always been seen in the people's minds only as a symbol of wealth. The thing doesn't have to be the real deal if the people chooses to believe that it is, and that's what the professor uses in his negotiation, bringing the Spanish government to their knees and forcing them to accept that their gold had been stolen and to accept that the aluminum bars painted as gold gifted by the professor will serve as a symbolic replacement for Spain, ending the conflict. Meanwhile, the ending also brings out another theme echoing in the shadows of the negotiation, highlighting the powerful message of family and how this story, ever since the flashbacks, has been about the revolutionary battle that the professor and his family have fought in the shadows for so long. From his grandfather to his father, to his brother, Berlin, and his nephew, and now the family built from the crew, they all played a part in creating the narrative that came to be. Each person was an important piece on the chessboard, trying to wage a revolution that the people were ready to listen. And now, the fight for revolution is in the hands of the people. Thank you for watching this video. I hope this analysis has shown why the TV format is perfect for a heist series, especially compared to a 2-hour film. If you haven't watched La Casa de Papel yet, I hope that this analysis has convinced you to check it out for yourself. It's amazing to see how quickly non-English shows have gained popularity, especially post-pandemic, knowing that there were only few curations of series just 5 years ago. Even though this is the final month within 2024, there is a couple more videos coming up in this final month, and of course, beyond. So if you have gotten this far into this video, and you like this video, please make sure that you subscribe. Leave a like to this video, and share it with your friends. At the same time, why not hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any future content. And I'll see you soon for another review episode.